All right, so now Tyrese was on the Budden TV, Joe Budden podcast with Melissa Ford and a lot of other guys talking about his ex-wife now wants him to pay $20,000 a month. That's just child support. That's not alimony. They had a prenup. However, at the end, after we watch it, I want to talk about just child support in our communities. So let's watch the Joe Budden podcast and let's see what they're going to talk about.
Going to feed back into this. There's a phrase, if you find them in cotton, you leave them in cotton. If you find them in silk, you leave them in silk.
So I don't know if I would call Tyrese frugal. I think that's how he referred to himself, trying to say, he lives a basic or simple lifestyle. I think she was trying to say maybe she became accustomed to the lifestyle if they were going to Dubai and nannies and cooks. I think right. one podcast is on, I think he said something like that, like they had a nanny and chefs and cooks and all this stuff. So is it possible that she became accustomed to the lifestyle? I'm not sure if that would total up to $20K a month, but $20K a month does seem really excessive.
No, so she left the relationship. So if you leave the relationship, you can't take his life with you. So if you decide, okay, I don't want this life, then that's your decision. You walked in the courtroom, put your hand on a Bible and swore to God, till death do us part. And then a year or something later, I changed my mind. By the way, let me take your lifestyle with me. No way. I ain't feeling that. Also, he's going to get into the part to where, and then by her, she said, when you find them in cotton, you leave them in cotton. So in Melissa Ford, so he found her in cotton in a sense, because she wasn't nannies and helipads and vacations. So she wasn't, and then she didn't help him get those riches. And that's just for the child. That's child support. That's not alimony. All right. So
is it possible that
I influenced her to try and get me for $20,000 a month for a 2-year-old?
That's their quality of life together. That's not her quality of life by herself. So just because she came in that quality of life, I keep that quality of life. No, you chose to walk away. When you sign them divorce papers, you walk away from that quality of life.
So what about the court system when you divorce someone like a celebrity and they have a certain amount of money? Is it true? I thought the judge goes by your income.
I think, right. The judge goes by your income, but with the celebrity, they don't have a set amount of money. And then I think that the courts are saying, okay, when you don't make that amount of money, you can petition, come back to court every year because you didn't make that, show your W-2s, stuff like that. So you're exactly right. So Tyrese in this podcast was saying he's not going to pay that. But it might be a case where they will go by his income and say, we're going to get you for this. But let's hear what the rest of
you don't say. Wait, Ish, you don't think the quality of her life changed simply by entering his existence and his orbit?
Did you?
Right. And I think that's because of income. And also, I think the judge does take into account the quality of lifestyle. So if you're used to living in Malibu, and then now you're going to say, okay, they're going to go live in, what's that, Inglewood? You know what I mean? I think the judge does take into account the lifestyle.
Okay, so they live in Atlanta. And one of the points he made is like Atlanta was super cheap, way cheaper than New York. So if you're in New York, that's a different story. Right. Atlanta is a lot cheaper. So he's saying, I feel like this. $10,000, you don't have to take that exact lifestyle with you. Yeah. Now, you shouldn't live in the projects. Even, let's say, $10,000 should get you to a decent, good lifestyle. You can put $5,000 on a 800 or 5-bedroom decent house in a good neighborhood. Let's say that's $5,000. Another $1,500 for the bills and the light bill, gas bill, all that. Another $1,000 for a nice car. Another $1,000 for a good private school. That's $10,000 right there. That should do it. $20,000, you trying to go shopping at Burberry and vacation and not work. She make $160 herself. She has a job.
Yeah.
So why does she want 20? And then that's another thing he was saying is like, I don't understand why she wants 20,000. She was super cheap in the first place. And why is she wanting that much money?
Right, yeah. So I'm really curious to see what the judge decides. Like, they haven't thrown it out, so they haven't said, okay, this is the same amount of money. No way. So they're still working on it. So I'm really curious to see how they'll decide on that. He says he's not paying the $20K, but I believe if they order you to pay it, you have to pay it.
I think if they order you to pay it, he's going to have to pay it. But is that fair? Because when she walked in that courtroom, and put her hand on that Bible and said, this is to death do us part. Nothing is going to, and then, okay, I changed my mind. I need to take you to court. That is one of the problems. And that's why a lot of celebrities get targeted. So if there is a prenup, that means both, he trusted her. But that baby is that clause.
Right. So the prenup is different from child support. So there's something totally different, like he was saying, that you can't put the child support in the prenup. There's something totally different.
And that's why he was saying, okay, cool. So if I'm paying, I'm just paying for that child. I'm not paying for your lifestyle because that's not alimony. That's totally different.
Yeah.
All right. And so is that fair for a lot of celebrities? Because they get targeted. So you got 2 or 3 kids and there's somebody that come in, have a baby, and then they gone. So if I'm a judge, if you left, now if the woman left, I would have to take, okay, cool, why did you leave? Oh, I just wanted to. If it's cheating or if it's beating, abuse. So if it's abuse, all right, bring me bring me a police statement.
Yeah.
Okay, you called the police, okay, bring me your statement. Okay, bring me the battery report, bring me the domestic report on each day. I need to see that. Because I'm sure you documented that, right? Because so if he beat her, that's different.
Yeah.
That means, okay, maybe she had to leave in fear of her life. But if she just a year or 2 later just changed her mind, if I'm a judge, I'm a little skeptical. I'm looking at you like you put your right hand on the book, said to death do us part, and all of a sudden you changed your mind after a year or 2. And now you want me to give you $20,000 to take his lifestyle with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I was going to say, well, like they were saying with a lot of the celebrity cases, they pay a lot more than that. I think Eddie Murphy pays like around $50K for his child with ex-Spice Girls Mel B. And like I said, I think unfortunately, I think it goes off your income. So however much money, I think you said maybe if he has 20 million in the bank, unfortunately, I think they do some calculations and say this is how much you can afford to pay.
Absolutely. So I don't think that, when you have a child, do you start going to the club, popping you definitely don't leave her in poverty or in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're a celebrity, I no question am I saying leave her in poverty in the hood. All right. I would say leave her in a good neighborhood, in a good school. And, for the child in a good school. And I think that $10,000 should be way more sufficient. Untaxed. That's $5,000 could go to a nice house. That should get you a 5-bedroom for 2 people.
Yeah.
And her new guy that she's gonna have, because she probably, more than likely, she may have already a new guy.
Yeah.
And Tyrese, and some men are looking at it like, okay, I'm supposed to pay for you and you and your new guy to live lavish off me. Huh?
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the lawyers come up with and how long this is going to take. Because I think he said on a different, his own personal video that he did, that he said he's almost up to $1 million in lawyer fees or some crazy number. So it'll be interesting to see how long this goes on and what the final number will be.
You know what? And that's one of my issues. I cannot understand how 2 people cannot sit down and come up with an agreement. Yeah. Because y'all are gonna jag $2 million on a lawyer when you could have just handed that to her and said, okay, because if you do the math, $20,000 a month is $240,000 a year. So that's $1 million in lawyer fee. That's probably just him. And she probably wants him to pay her lawyer fees.
Yeah.
So she probably, that's $2,000 to people you don't even know outside the family.
Right. Yeah.
So how many years is that? That's like 6 or 7 years paid just to lawyers.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all couldn't sit down and
Yeah, it's very unfortunate about the court system, right? And I think even Tyrese said something about an interview. He was doing a documentary on the court system, and basically a little bias, how the court system is a little biased against men. So yeah, it would be ideal if people could come to some sort of agreement, but unfortunately, that's not what happens in most cases.
right. So that, especially with the court system getting 10% off what you paying in child support anyway. And if you paying $20,000 a month, you do the math, and with so many celebrities, it's $1 billion industry. The child support court is. I believe it's breaking up happy homes. A lot of people say, how can that break up a happy home? It's a lot of reasons why. Because some of the guys or women you lay down with, you never had in your mind it was forever anyway. You kind of had, okay, cool. If he mess up, pew, I'm gone. So marriages, especially celebrities. There's Tia, own girl Tia from the Twin Show. Yeah. She want to get back with her guy now. In 2023, all we seeing is first time you mess up, boop, it's over. I'm gone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know that when she came up with that $20,000 number, if he tried to counter it. I'm guessing, I wonder if he said, okay, maybe 12,000, and she turned it down. Because like you said, 10,000 is more than sufficient enough to have a really great lifestyle, especially in Atlanta. Right.
So she should be, tickled through the moon, because you could get a free 5-bedroom, nice plush house with your bill. That's with taxes and insurance. Then you could get you a dope car. You can have your bills paid. All you got to do is little or nothing. You could actually just keep that.
Yeah.
You could just keep that and do what you do. But, I think that, y'all want to pop bottles. Y'all want to be in Dubai. Y'all want to be on vacation. And I that ain't fair.
Yeah, not at all. I think, like I said, $20,000 is very excessive. So I'm really curious to see what the judge will say about this.
Right. Okay. And so I think that going forward, if I'm a judge, I'm taking all that in consideration. But people, especially celebrities, how can y'all not sit down before it goes to the courtroom and say, hey, it ain't gonna work out. Here's why. Let's just, before we pay these lawyers, because it's gonna get costly. Right. Let's just come up with a solution. But I did see some interviews where a lot of guys is like, nope, I ain't. And then the female has to. I know there's a few women that just said, F it. All right, it's over. I'm not even gonna go to courts. I'm gonna just walk away. So I felt that's very interesting. For those of you guys who did not see this interview, I suggest you guys go take a look at it. It's a very interesting interview nonetheless. And it brings back to our homes. So hope you guys take a look at it. Let us know what you think. Renee, appreciate you. Peace, y'all.
In the shy. Ooh, it's my life in the shy.